Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a lower body day. And I decided to just go pretty hard on my squats and deadlifts today. Tried to do pretty much close to AMRAP sets, and then I just did my lighter pump work, right? My stuff on my reverse hyper, so my leg extensions, my reverse hypers. And I feel like this was hard enough that really these first few sets, I probably got a good training response. I will probably at least stimulate some muscle growth from this. So went ahead and just stuck with high bar squatting. I did 5 reps with 405 here. Of course, I feel like the balance looks off a little bit and it felt good. But yeah, that first rep, just kind of getting into position because I haven't been doing tons of high bar squatting like this lately, and I want to get good at doing it again. I just feel like I get better quad development stuff out of it, right? And it's easy on my shoulders. It's kind of nice to not have shoulder pain. Right? It's really nice to not have shoulder pain. And so I would rather not flare that back up. And I feel like high bar squats will do whatever I need squatting to do. So the 5 was pretty challenging there. So then I dropped it down to 315. I'm like, well, let me just see how many reps I can get. I almost feel like working on doing these almost as a widowmaker. Not that I think everyone should do that. I do think rest pause training has its pros and cons. But I do remember I was chatting with a client about this, about how we used to do these back in the day, and this is just how we were taught to train. It's just what people did, okay? Just how people trained in the gyms where I started at, when you were a noob. So I went ahead and I took the 315 because I know I can do it for 12, and I'm like, let me just see if I can get 10 reps. Some of the depth on these, it looks a hair high, and I think it's just quad fatigue, so I do want to work on that because I feel like just doing high rep work like this with 315 after doing some heavy work will do a lot for me just over time. But I do want to work on getting a little more depth on these. And again, it's hard to tell based on feel, and I noticed the further I got into the set, some of them got a little higher, right? The burn was good though, the fatigue was good. So again, it's just going to need a little bit of work, but it was exhausting, right? I really felt the fatigue between these 2 sets. Really felt the fatigue, and I think I got to 14. I got to 14 reps here, and then I racked it and got out of there. But again, 405 for 5 on a high bar, 315 for 14. Some solid work, pretty solid work. As you guys can tell, look at the breathing. I'm definitely struggling there. But again, it's just some nice, solid, honest, hard work. And that's all it is. So I did that, and then I'm like, let me go over to my deadlift. I did a warm-up with 405 first. And, people are always like, how do you warm up for deadlifts? I just did squats on it. I need to warm up for deadlifts. I did a 405 for 1, and then I go to my work set. So I'm like, well, let me put 500 on the bar and doing full resets, trying to get some quality reps. Let me just see what I can get. Now, I've done in the past, my best ever was 11. However, it was using this same deadlift bar, might have been the other deadlift bar, and it was using those red training plates. That's easier. Okay, it's going to whip more. Let's just call it what it is. Whippy bars are not the same, especially on rep work, man. It's just so much easier sometimes. So again, this is just doing some honest work. Just like when I did the benching yesterday, I'm like, this isn't obviously a 315 PR, but for doing a wide grip flat back, it was. Okay. Even though it was 4 reps under my all-out arched medium grip belt wrist wraps, I'll take it. So here's seven reps. 7 reps. Man, I was feeling this. And honestly, I'm actually really happy with this, because I strained like that 7th rep. You can tell right there, it was grinding. Again, just some nice solid work, and it felt good. Felt good to do that. So then I decided let's go ahead and make sure my quads are good, and I wanted to do reverse hypers no matter what. And I think just because the volume was being a little low, some high rep leg extensions are not a bad idea. The problem I run into on this machine, it feels like no matter how I do it, I have to get a little inertia. I've cut this way down to 220. I was doing over 500, but again, more cheating. Now it is stricter, and I did get the quads to really, really burn. So I'll take that. I'm happy with that fact. Hey, we'll live with it. So again, pretty much just stopped it down and restarted the set again, trying to cut some of the swing out. And the next two sets, I got it a lot more under control, and I took those to true failure, right to where the weight just stopped moving. Again, I said true failure, but some people have different ideas on that. Failure means, okay, momentary failure, the weight just stops moving. Doesn't mean to all out 100% exhaustion where you did rest, pause, work, and forced reps. That's not what failure means. Those are extended sets, pretty much, where you've gone beyond failure. So the reverse hypers felt good, trying to do these real strict, and I can really only get about, 13, 15 reps when I do them crazy strict like that. So again, getting our desired response, using less weight on these two movements. And these are just good on recovery, right? The leg extensions, there's minimal impact on recovery because all the other stuff is all high axial loading. And that's the thing. I feel like with this sort of training volumes I am doing right now, it doesn't matter. Stimulus fatigue probably just isn't a big deal. That's the beauty of when you say, okay, what volumes do I need to stimulate growth? Like, how do I get bigger and stronger, and let's not bother with anything more. When you do that, I feel like stimulus fatigue just matters a lot less. So what if all the main work is axial loading? Oh no, doing reps with 500 pounds compressing my spine. If our total volumes are kept reasonable. I almost feel like I could just skip these leg extensions. But again, I just want the high rep quad work. I feel like I could come in and squat, deadlift, and do reverse hypers and actually be fine. I could probably reach all my lower body and strength goals just doing that. I could always add some good mornings or something. But this absolutely will do what I need it to do. The leg extensions are there, even though they're not very efficient with this machine, mainly just to get some pump work in the quads. We could argue that it's probably not that useful, right? I think we can make a heck of a case for it's not that useful. Again, just because of the inefficiency of it, but I do like the idea of getting the rep work. But, I could go push my sled and do that also. So that is an option. I have a prowler, right? You guys have seen it a little bit. You occasionally see it in some of the clips. It's kind of pushed over to the side there. So I have a prowler. If I really just want the extra quad volume, I could go push it. And I like to do it occasionally on off days. So it may be where I go. I may do more of that and just say, I don't need this. Let's just squat, deadlift, and and do those reverse hypers. Because I feel like with this machine, again, it's just nice to have. But again, I have other tools. At the end of the day, stimulus is stimulus. Okay, stimulus is stimulus. And I think people get sometimes, especially with accessory movements that are not your big main movements, I think we can get a little obsessed over thinking that we're doing the perfect thing or doing it right. Right? Just work the muscle. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.